Brought to you by Penguin.
The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Tales of Terror by Robert Louis Stevenson, read by Rory Kinnear.
If you're coming to this Penguin classic for the first time, then we'd recommend that you skip the introduction for now and return to it later, as it contains details of the plot. Please skip forward to Disc 2 now, if you'd rather not listen to the introduction yet.
Robert Louis Stevenson was born in Edinburgh in 1850. The son of a prosperous civil engineer, he was expected to follow the family profession, but finally was allowed to study law at Edinburgh University. Stevenson reacted violently against the Presbyterian respectability of the city's professional classes, and this led to painful clashes with his parents. In his early 20s, he became afflicted with a severe respiratory illness from which he was to suffer for the rest of his life. It was at this time that he determined to become a professional writer. In 1879, he travelled to California to marry Fanny Osborne, an American 10 years his senior. Together, they continued his search for a climate kind to his fragile health, eventually settling in Samoa, where he died on 3rd of December, 1894. Stevenson began his literary career as an essayist and travel writer, but the success of Treasure Island, 1883, and Kidnapped, 1886, established his reputation for tales of action and adventure. Kidnapped, and its sequel Katrina, 1893, The Master of Ballantrae, and stories such as Thrawn Janet and The Merry Men also reveal his knowledge and feeling for the Scottish cultural past. Stevenson's Calvinistic upbringing gave him a preoccupation with predestination and a fascination with the presence of evil. In Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, he explores the darker side of the human psyche, and the character of the Master in The Master of Ballantrae, 1889, was intended to be all I know of the devil. During the last years of his life, Stevenson's creative range developed considerably, and The Beach of Falesa brought to fiction the kind of scenes now associated with Conrad and Maugham. At the time of his death, Robert Louis Stevenson was working on Weir of Hermiston, at once a romantic historical novel and an emotional reworking of one of Stevenson's own most distressing experiences, the conflict between father and son. Robert Mighall completed a PhD on Gothic fiction and Victorian medico-legal science at the University of Wales, and then spent 3 years as a postdoctoral fellow at Merton College, University of Oxford. In 1997, he became the editor of Penguin Classics, and now works in London as a consultant. His publications include an edition of Oscar Wilde's poems for Everyman paperbacks, and a study of Victorian Gothic fiction for Oxford University Press, 1999. He has also edited Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray for Penguin Classics. He is a Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. Chronology. 1850. Born Robert Louis Balfour Stevenson, he would later adopt the French form Louis, on 13th of November 1850 in Edinburgh. His father Thomas came from a long line of engineers, famous in Scotland for their lighthouses, and his mother, Margaret Isabella Balfour, was from a family of lawyers. 1857. Moves to 17 Heriot Row in Edinburgh's Newtown district. 1867. Enrolls at Edinburgh University to follow in the family tradition and study engineering, but soon abandons this to study law. 1875. Passes advocate and is called to the Scottish bar, but never practices. 1876. Starts publishing in magazines. His early works are mostly travel pieces drawing on his experiences in various countries. Meets Fanny Osborne, an American of 36 who was separated from her husband. 1877. An inland voyage published, an account of a journey by canoe in northern France. 1878. Travels with a Donkey in the Cevennes is published, recounting his adventures in southern France. 1879. Joins Fanny in California, an account of which he later published as The Amateur Emigrant, 1894.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?